Hey, good day, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you in our very first AGRU Trends episode from AGRU. It's a real honor to have these first episodes of many, definitely to come. Today, in our first episode, we are sharing this great moment with Edgardo Cornejo, Chief Operations Officer from AGRU America, Matthew Danysh, Senior Technical Engineer from AGRU America, and myself, Francisco Pizarro, General Manager from AGRU Brazil and AGRU Chile. It's, as I was saying, a great moment for us, as we have been saying previously in our several channels. To be a plastic expert also means to be an expert on sharing the knowledge we have. So here we are. Edgar, here we are. It's an honor to be with you and to start this great conversation between all of us.
Thanks, Francisco. We have been working on these agri trends. It's gonna be a channel for our customers, for our partners, and for everybody that wants to know a little bit more of agri products. So, thanks everyone. I hope you enjoy these few minutes, and we're gonna try to gather your experience as well by showing our products, and then we can figure it out what's gonna be the next subject because we want this to be a tool for all the viewers. Thank you.
Perfect. It's great. Uh, as you know, we have a great guest today, Matthew Danysh, as I was saying, the senior technical engineer, and we have a several series of questions for Matthew that will definitely also to jump in everyone here in this conversation. The first one, Matthew, is who is AGRU and what do they make? Maybe we all have probably an idea, but your experience also could be mixed in order to answer that question.
Yeah, hello, Francesco and Edgar. Yeah, we're looking at this time and with Agro producing products. These products that are in our HDPE plastic pipe lines, producing extra large diameter pipe and fittings. And we've been producing pipe for a number of years with Agru. And Edgar, tell us a little bit about Agru and the Agru name.
Yes, we have 75 years in the industry, and what is important to let our customers know is what are the different type of products we make. So, who is AGRU? AGRU is a thermoplastic company that focuses on liners, concrete protective liners, pipes and fittings, pipes for the chemical industry, and very specialized other products. But it's a company that provides a solution, a turnkey product solution.
It's great. We have, as Edgar and Matthew were saying, we have been here for so many years, 75 years this year. We are actually we just have our new plant in Austria, the number six, also with manufacturing facilities in Poland, Germany, China for the internal market, the US with several manufacturing facilities in South Carolina, in Nevada, and the commercial offices we have in South America, the ones in Brazil and Chile. So this episode it's for you in order to bring all the knowledge we have. Especially we're going to jump in a matter that it's very important and in an area we are being growing a lot in the last couple of years is the XXL division, the big diameter pipes. And I want to pass this to Edgar because he has been selling many projects worldwide in XXL pipes. So tell us a little bit about this division, Edgar, and why the size matters.
Definitely, Francisco. Thank you. Again, Agru, it's a company that specializes on these thermoplastic solutions. Um Geosynthetics is one division. Concrete protective is another division. Pipes and fittings is a third division. we have machinery, and we have many other products. In this case, we want to talk about XXL pipe, double XL pipe. And why the size matter is because right now the majority of the industry can only produce up to a certain diameter. And there's a different type of pipes available in the industry. You have a steel pipe, you can have GRP pipe, you can have PVC pipe, but we want to focus on HDPE and XXL. Why it's matter? Because the more flow you can transport, the more size you're gonna need. In this case, HDPE over the last 20, 25 years has been focusing in growing in many applications like potable water, sewers, and nowadays all the population keeps growing, so the flow will keep growing, and we're gonna need a higher size to be able to move those solutions from point A to point B. Water is one of the most important commodity nowadays and for the future. And for that reasons, is that we're gonna need a higher diameter pipe. That's what is very important because everything is growing, and the transportation of those fluids also needs to accommodate to those needs. Um, just put an example in South America, we can't see higher than 2,000 millimeter pipe. In the US, we can do up to 3,500 millimeters, 3.5 meter diameter pipe. And that is really important for the customers to know that there's such a that capability now to be able to produce. That's why size is very important. We were used to very small size. I call it baby pipe. But in reality, now we can make large diameter pipe and in those sizes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think,
Edgar, let me add to
Matthew,
that.
yes.
So basically, when you start talking about why a large diameter pipe, is that as you get larger in diameter, the flow does not correspond linearly; it's actually exponential. And so, as you get larger diameters, your flow is increasing by exponential. And so, when you go to the next slide, we just look at on the ID of the pipe. So, flow is based on the ID of the pipe. So, if you have like a 60-inch ID, your flow can get only to a certain amount. When you go to a larger diameter, let's just say you double this ID from 60 inches to 120 inches, the actual flow that you get for that is over 6 times the amount. And so it's exponential. So as you get larger diameter, your flow actually is exponentially increases. And so when you need these large flows, it doesn't make sense to put in six 60-inch lines. You just put one 120-inch line, and it takes the place of all those 60. And it's not only the cost of the pipe itself, but it's the installation cost. So it's, if you're putting in 6 lines, it just doesn't make any sense.
So
And
let me
so
stop you there, Matthew. Let me stop you there. So just for the audience, we're talking about here in inches. So just to make a correlation, 60 inches pipe or 63 inches is equivalent to 1.6 meter or 1600 millimeters, and 120 will be around 3000 millimeter. That's the correlation. We have 140 there. 140 is about 3.5 meter. So the US is based on ASTM standards. So we in the US we work with inches. Everywhere else is going to be metric system, but that's the correlation. Today, again, everybody can make up to 80, no more than 80. AGRU can make up to 140 inches or 3.5 meter and manage that flow that Matthew was saying that is growing exponentially. Um, Go ahead, Matthew.
okay, so yeah, what makes it interesting here is that when you look at the next slide, we start talking about that exponential. So when you use the Hayes and Williams formula, and I get this out of the PPI, American Plastic Pipe Institute. So the flow equation for pressure loss in pipes is basically equates to the flow is equal to the diameter to the 2.63 power. And then if you go to the next slide I had, is that what that means is the area increases by diameter times diameter is equivalent. The flow is actually equivalent to the diameter to the 2.63 power, which means also the friction loss or the horsepower it takes to push water through that pipe is actually to the inverse of that power of 2.63 on the diameter side. So it actually is not only gives you more flow, but you also have the additional friction loss reduction to that same power. And then when you start talking about, well, what does this really mean? I mean, what is the bang for the buck for a larger diameter pipe compared to a smaller diameter? And so when you actually look at just the cost for the pipe, for let's just say the 1,000 feet of pipe, the cost for the pipe is actually goes down with larger diameter sizes compared to the flow that it can carry. And so it's actually a win-win when you start talking about getting more flow, and it's also at a lower cost for the actual pipe.
So
And
what does
then,
that mean? What is that ratio means? The 1.5 that you have over there? Can you explain it a
oh,
little
well,
bit better?
basically that's if you look at the cost of the pipe uh, per the if you multiply the cost of a 60-inch pipe by the 6.9 for flow, and you take that ratio. So if you did put in 6 pipes to equal 120-inch pipe, right? That cost differential is 50% more, right? So if you put in just the cost of the pipe, not the installation, because the cost of installation is going to go way up too when you put in.
So by using a larger diameter pipe, you save 50% instead of trying to accommodate the flow with a 6 time small diameter size.
Right, right. And so yeah, it's most you're getting the best bang for your buck for pipe as you get larger in diameter for the flow that you need.
I think it's
And,
very
and,
important.
and
Yeah,
I
and
think
then
it's
the
very
next thing,
about
important.
the cost, yes,
yeah,
please.
Go ahead, Francisco.
No. We were talking about cost, and Matthew spoke about the installation. Probably we'll go deeper in the following questions because we have so many to go with in such a short time or short period of time. But I think we need to go deeper on the installation and the cost of the installation and where the advantages that HDPE pipes have, especially when we talk about fittings. You have been involved in many projects, especially in South America, Edgardo, where we have been involved in the installation of this type of pipes. And this is why HDPE has a huge difference. We are not talking about, of course, size matters, of course, but due to all the technical reasons Matthew just explained, but the material itself is a huge advantage. And maybe we can go about it in terms of the lightweight, in terms of the transport, in terms of the installation itself.
Yes, definitely. I think there's very good comment. Uh, there's a lot of applications, I say, Francisco, and I think it's important for us to explain the benefits of HDPE pipe nowadays. Number one, for example, let's talk about a country. Let's select Peru. Peru has a lot of infrastructure challenges. They are around 15 years trying to update the flowing systems, talking about sewers, potable waters, and they have limited spaces. The same happens in many other South America countries, and HDPE brings a really powerful solution because, like you said, you need less heavy equipment to move the pipe. Number two, you're gonna have less installation cost. Number three, you're gonna have, like Matthew just mentioned, you're gonna be able to move a higher amount of water with less power. Very important. So when you start looking at all those added values, HDPE is a great solution for engineers nowadays. Question is,
Yes.
uh, everybody knows about these, or we should be able to help everyone to understand those benefits? Because right now I've seen a lot of steel designs, a lot of GRP designs. HDPE is for sure getting a lot of traction, and there's a lot of case studies and a lot of benefits. Definitely, I believe it's a great solution for many applications.
Wonderful. And
yeah.
and
So
and
we're
and, and going straight, yeah, Matthew, I just want to go with you in terms of comparisons between HDPE versus steel, HDPE versus uh, reinforced glass reinforced plastics, where we are standing right now, where the market is going, where are the advantages? What do you think?
okay. So yeah, the great benefit of HDPE is that it is very flexible. So if you look at a couple more slides we go through, keep going. Let's go look at, yeah, this side right here. So basically, when we ship pipe, large diameter, we can ship it on ocean where we're towing pipes to a project. But just looking at how these pipes behave, they're very flexible. They float right along the top of the water. They can bend and relax. There's actually weld sections in these pipes, and so you have welded joints that can handle all of the displacements, movement, and things like that, and bend radiuses. And so when you compare that to any other material, there's no other material out there that can perform this way. Steel pipe, concrete, whatever, fiberglass, they're very brittle. You can't bend them. Seismic areas, they will not be able to move along with the soil, whereas HDPE flows right along. Also, when you start talking about other materials, all other materials have some type of an issue with joints, meaning that when you have segments of pipes, you have to join them in the field. You're either going to do some type of a welded joint that's a different type of material you're introducing to the system, or you're doing a flange connection, or you're doing some type of a gasketed joint. All of these are problem areas with pipe. When you have HDPE, you can actually butt fusion weld the material together. So you're actually fusing HDPE to HDPE. There's no other material that's being used for the welded joint. It's actually as strong as the pipe itself, as we've shown by towing pipe all over the world. The great thing about when you're making long string pipes and shipping them to a job site is that they're all flange connections, so you actually can just plug and play. Once they get to the job site, you can attach these pipes together, sink them into place, or wherever you need them, and it makes the cost for installation much better than it would be for any other type of material. Plus, your corrosion resistant on HDPE is impeccable compared to any other material. Like whenever we're shipping products overseas, some of the pulling heads, like you can see, we put the coatings on there and all that, but still there's a corrosion issue associated with anything that is metal related, unless you get some real high, high dollar materials, like your Hastelloys or titanium or something crazy like that, which most customers can't even afford. So you're ending up with steel type of attachments. In steel, the problem is you have to have coatings not only internally to the pipe, but externally to the pipe. What's interesting about some of the coatings that they use for steel is that they use polyethylene wrapping on the outside of the pipe, which is kind of crazy. If you're going to put HDPE on the outside, you might as well have the whole thing HDPE. So the other kind of materials they use, fiberglass, that's another one that's very brittle. It's very difficult to get good attachments on joints. You actually have to have structural members in place to hold the pipes together under pressure. And then there's also concrete, but concrete has issues too with joining, and also the weight of the pipe. It's very heavy compared to HDPE. It's one of the lightest materials out there, especially like when you start talking about when weight's very important. And like just say in aircraft, people don't understand, but HDPE is used in aircrafts. It's used in systems where you want to have the lightest weight material for the best bang for your buck. Also, the corrosion aspects go into steel for potable water services. HDPE is very good for water quality, meaning that there's nothing in the HDPE that makes the water quality any worse or better. It actually helps with keeping your chlorine levels. So if you're using any type of disinfectant in your potable water system, HDPE is far better than any other materials because the chlorine is actually attacked by some of the coatings, especially with your cemented coatings you have for steel pipe and others, that you actually end up having to put more chlorine in the system. So you oversaturate with chlorine. And that is a big problem in the U.S. for water quality, because then the chlorine causes more damage down the pipeline systems.
So Matthew, sorry to interrupt you. So what I'm thinking here is, can we clarify what is the sweet spot for HDPE? Let's say there's many applications where you have water, like let's say desalination plants. There's no way you're gonna select a steel pipe because it's gonna easily corrode. HDPE is perfectly suited for desalination, water intakes, and also then when you transport water inside, but it has some pressure ratings. What is the max pressure that you can design with HDPE pipes? so that the audience starts correlating the size and the pressure requirements.
Right, that's something that the XXL pipe systems for HDPE have come a long way. So now in our large pipe systems, we can go up to 100 psi for large diameter, which is unheard of. There's no other product out there that can give you this corrosion resistance, especially when you're dealing with salt water or in salt water or transporting salt water. HDPE is far superior. When it comes to smaller diameter sizes, so once you get down below to 1600 diameter, then our pressures can go, 200 psi to those types of products.
So
I would
if
like to point it out because both mentioned something very important. Talk about a little bit about the type of products we are making right now. Talk about desalination, Edgar. Matthew talk about long strings and I think that both are interesting concepts to go deep in, especially when we are talking about what kind of projects we have made. Probably just a few people know, but one of the advantages that AGRU has, besides manufacturing such a long strings, is that in our Charleston manufacturing facility in South Carolina, we are able to manufacture those low strings and that can go directly through the port and go from site to site, from port to port to any project. And we speak about desalination plants because usually desalination plants are quite near the sea, so it's a port to port project with long strings. And I don't know too many companies or even other type of materials that it has such an asset as AGRU has. What do you think?
I think the majority of companies just produce one product or the other, and that's the real difference with Agro. Agro can make the pipe, can make the connections, can help with the machinery, and can help with the installation through partners. So at the end of the day, you have a turnkey project. Let's talk about an example. Agro can make a pipe and can make a electrofusion coupler, and also have the machines available, and then you don't have to go into sourcing three different suppliers.
Mhm.
In regards, talking about applications that at the end of the day will be the important selection process, I'll say we have projects that are offshore and onshore. Onshore, you're going to have very, very important needs and qualifications. But in general, again, desalination plants is a big application. Number two, we have water intakes. Number three, we can have sewer systems. Number four, we have the potable waters. Number five, you have horizontal drilling that you can do with HDPE. Also, compression feed lining, and there's many trenchless techniques that helps when you use HDPE. And at the end, is how do you improve the cost for any project, any available project. Uh,
Yeah.
Matthew, what do you think about it?
Yes, absolutely, because it depends what your application is. We can handle so many different types of applications. When you just talk about large diameter pipe, we can do all kind of things. We can ship pipe in these long ocean tows where we can ship 4 kilometers lengths of pipe. Or if you're going to do over land, we can put those on a truck and we can ship up to 40 feet of large, extra large diameter pipe. Or we can go overseas with shorter pipe and fuse it at the job site. So there's just a number of things that we can do depending on what the application is and where it's going to be. It's going to be offshore, near shore, or inland. Different types of pipe lengths can be accomplished for that.
Definitely. Guys, I think we need to start leaving. The little gap we have in our ears is calling us, so saying that we are on time. But again, this is definitely the first episode of our Trends podcast, but also the first episode of three, of series of three related to XXL pipes. So I stay tuned for the coming episodes. And definitely, this, as many things, this will be a learning curve a little bit. Many things to improve. I hope you, with your comments and likes or whatever you're sharing. It will be great in order to get to know you better and what we can do better for you. But this is definitely the first one of many episodes of many areas we would like to discuss. Edgardo, I don't
Definitely.
know if you would like to say, and Matthew, something else to close this,
Yes.
our very first episode.
Very, very important. AGRU Trends has been designed for you. And whatever you think we gotta expand, please send your comments. Like Francisco said, we're gonna be selecting some speakers. We're gonna be talking about different other subjects, different other product lines, and the idea is help with the good news from AGRU family. So thanks a lot, everyone, for your support. Thanks for the audience likes and any comments. Please feel free, and we're gonna be reviewing them and checking them accordingly. Thank you,
All right.
Matthew.
Thank you,
Matthew,
guys.
thank you for staying with us. Edgardo,
Take care.
all the
All right.
best.
Take
Have a
care,
good one,
guys.
guys.
See you. Bye bye.